The SR-3M, the highest damage per bullet SMG, currently only available to the support class. It is heavily based on the AS Val, but as opposed to that specific weapon, it doesn't come with an integral suppressor. I've been playing a ton with it. It is super fun to use, and I think I came up with a build that really plays to this weapon's strengths. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the build. So starting off with a blank slate here, looking at the details, you can see it does 27 damage per shot, but the range on it is absolutely abysmal. So we're really going to play to its strengths and build it as a CQB monster that is incredibly good at hip firing. So we're going to start off with the barrel. There's only a single option here, so the cast steel tactical barrel. It removes those two left and right rail slots, but gives you a lot of new slots such as the foregrip. So go ahead and install that. As for the muzzle, I tried a few different ones here, and I'm really building this weapon to be just insane at hip firing. Maybe a little bit too much, but it is really fun to play with, I promise you. I went with the SMG Echo Suppressor, so the reason being, it slightly increases your range, so really pushing out the distance at which you can do max damage. Does it make that much of a difference? Arguably, probably not. It's only plus 2 meters, so it extends the range from 16 to 18, but it gives you 2 extra meters at which you're doing maximum damage. It also increases the control, slight penalty on handling, stability, and a little bit on accuracy, but will make up for accuracy, trust me. For the foregrip, I chose to go with the X25U angled combat grip because it gives you a whopping plus 8 accuracy as well as plus 10 control, which is great for how I'm trying to build this weapon. So equip that. For the mag, the basic mag is just awful. So we're going to go ahead and equip the VSS 45 round mag. For how much ammo this gives you, there's not a whole lot of penalties, so go ahead and equip that. And of course, the mag mount, which is a must. For the grip, I chose to go with the AK heavy tower grip to get that grip mount slot. So this gives you all positive stats, which is perfect. And then the grip mount, I chose to go with the balanced grip because it gives you plus 4 accuracies. For the stock, I actually chose to go with the SR-3M bolt cover, which gives you plus 12 accuracy. This thing is an absolute beast at hip firing, and of course plus 12 handling, which increases your ADS speed, as well as reduces your sprint to fire delay, which is what we want here. We're going to be super aggressive with this build. For the optic, I went with the multi-purpose tactical riser here because I want to put as many handguards as I can on this weapon, so we're going to go with that. Put the mini RTS, which is my preferred sight. I also went ahead and equipped a purple laser light combo on here. You can put whatever you want and whichever one you think is the easiest to see. So as for the 2 patches here and the 3 rails, I just equipped KC Hound handguards across all of them. So this increases your stability, and the weapon itself actually kind of needs it because the stability is really bad at this point. So we're going to go ahead and install that everywhere. Moving over to the calibration, for the barrel, I chose to go with a plus 50 grams, so this is going to increase your firing stability and reduce the length by 10 millimeters, so giving you plus 3% ADS speed. Not a big deal for the muzzle velocity because you're using this so close quarters that it doesn't really matter. For the angled combat grip, so we're going to increase this by plus 20 millimeters, so this increases your stability when moving, and you really want to be moving a lot when using this weapon. That's basically what it's built for. You want to be aggressive, you want to hip fire as much as possible. For the rear grip, so I chose to go with plus 50 grams, so this is giving you a little bit of extra control for those rare times that you actually need to ADS. You could also choose to reduce the thickness by 20 millimeters to increase the hipfire aim speed by plus 4, but I chose to just forego that to keep that plus 16 stability when moving that I gave earlier, so we're just going to put that back to 0. For the stock, I chose to increase the weight limit by plus 50 grams, giving you plus 6% extra control. For the aiming stability while breathing, you're not really going to be doing this at all, so it doesn't really matter. And then finally, for the optic, I always do plus 0.25x and negative 20 millimeters for the pupil distance. So these are the final stats for the weapon here that we have. So damage 27, increasing that range a little bit. Control, honestly, it's pretty decent. Even at a little bit further ranges, and when you ADS, it's not that bad to actually control the recoil. The handling at 66 makes this weapon super snappy to go from sprinting to ready to fire. Stability, not great. And then for the accuracy, we have 88, so this thing is just a laser beam at hip fire. You could even increase this to 100 with the DTK muzzle brake. So as you can see here, it adds plus 12 accuracy, which is just insane. 100 is probably overkill, and actually you are losing accuracy here because I think this attachment specifically gives you plus 14, so you can't actually go higher than 100. So that's why I chose to go with the actual SMG Echo Suppressor to get that plus 2 meters, giving you weapon suppression and reducing your visibility from the minimap when you're firing. So again, I specifically built this weapon for just go ahead full bore into the enemy enemy sprint, jump around corners, and get to a sprint to fire ready state in a split second, so 110 milliseconds, which is absolutely insane. And you can easily hip fire down enemies from 25 meters, no problem whatsoever. You are losing out on that damage though, because past 18 meters, the damage is starting to drop off pretty substantially. But at 27 damage per shot and a fire rate of 747 RPM, you are just going to absolutely melt anybody that is within that 18 meter range. So on shafted, this weapon absolutely excels, even on cracked when you're really focusing on the flags that are a little bit more CQB oriented. Same thing for threshold. There's a lot of close quarter engagements on that map, so just a fantastic weapon. It is so fun to use. It looks absolutely goofy as hell with the no stock on it, and you could probably build it a little bit differently to better be adapted to your playstyle, but I promise the build that I made for this thing is just super fun to use. It does a ton of damage. You can drop just massive kill games with this thing. And the 45 rounds, if you're playing within that 18 meters, is plenty of ammo to deal with a ton of enemies. So it's taking you 4 shots in CQB to down enemies without even ADSing. It is just a powerhouse and probably my favorite SMG right now. I know a lot of people are like all hard on the SMG 45, but SR-3M, don't sleep on it. You might want to use a couple of XP boosts for this weapon, because that 15 round mag to start off with is just freaking brutal. You want to get rid of that as fast as possible. The level required to actually use this weapon is level 50 for the X25U angled combat grip, but you can easily swap that out for something else until you get to that level 50, but I would really recommend at least leveling this weapon up to 35, at which point you unlock the 45 round mag. So if you have some XP cards laying around, boost it up to 35 at least, and you're going to have a ton of fun with it. Again, the idea that I had in mind for building this weapon is really basing it off of its strengths, and this weapon does a lot of damage in CQB, which is why I chose to just make it a hipfire machine. The share code for this weapon will be in the description down below, as well as in the top pinned comment. If you have a suggestion for a future weapon, also leave it down there. I read all the comments, and I'm making a list of all the weapons I want to work on based off of your suggestions. And now I'll leave you with a few highlight clips of me using the SR-3M with this specific build. In any case, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
Doctor is here. Loaded doing my head in. Missile strike on coordinates. Over.